Hey, what's up, guys? Ryan here, here to talk about some stuff on the podcast and our YouTube channel. Um, I'm going to talk about the difference between owners and salespeople. And I've always had the same problem where, as the owner of my company, I always sell differently than what's proven to work for salespeople. And if you're a business owner, you're probably in the same boat where you can sell probably better than anyone else. And most founders of a company, especially in like the services business, are better at sales. In the technology space, that's not always the case. You can have super technical people who aren't very good at sales, but even the same thing applies in the trade industries and service industries, where there's somebody who really cares about, the operation and the technicality of what they do, but they're not inclined to sell well. However, you can have somebody who is unskilled in sales as an owner and they'll still sell a lot because why? Well, I think the main variable between that and a sales rep is they care so much and they have so much ownership of what they're doing, and the buck stops with them. There's a natural authority that they'll walk in and that they'll carry when they're in the business. And there's going to be a different type of decision making process that they'll walk in. So at the end of the day, though, the drive of that owner is what's going to change everything. They believe more than the sales rep about anything. Um, Anything they're selling, they have a conviction that the sales rep won't have. So when you're trying to train salespeople, you have to understand that salespeople, you can get really good salespeople, but they're not going to sell the same way an owner would. The owner is going to have a conviction, a tonality, a certainty, a confidence that is hard to replicate because they believe in what they're doing so much. Now, a sales rep who's not a founding sales rep, but a professional sales rep, they're going to have a different approach, and they're going to carry themselves differently. And what I would say is, if you're trying to train up salespeople, which is different than hiring maybe an existing elite salesperson on the market, out in the free market, you're going to need to, like, I was just looking at it today. I was looking at a script for our workshops. And our sales script for our workshops is like way longer than I would personally want to sell at, the way I would want to sell, because I, typically have, some, um, a gravitas is a dumb word to describe myself, but I have a certain air about myself on the call because they've seen me at an event or they see me on content, put the social media content, and I started the company. Now, that same thing applies to any owner and any founder who wants to grow. Now, you may be like, well, I wouldn't want to say all that on the call if I was a sales rep looking at the script. But the sales rep who doesn't have that much thoroughness on the script won't have the creativity and the instincts to make the decisions and sell the way the founder and the owner would sell. Because nobody owns the business like the owner. I mean, nobody cares about the business like the owner. No one's as passionate about the business like the owner and the founder. And you're going to find a different type of drive and a different, especially founders, right? People who started it, had the original vision and got out and made it happen. So, here's my whole point in all this. It's completely okay to not try to replicate sales the way an owner would sell. Okay. If we did that, you're going to find that the sales reps don't have what it takes to be creative and to sell in the same way instinctually as an owner would, because they don't have the founding vision. They don't have the decision making process. They don't have the experience. And a sales rep's going to need more training, more thorough scripting, and reinforcement. And so that's currently the way that actually every company is, but we're dealing with that right now. And create a thorough script for your sales rep. Owners, you may not want to do it that well, but here's the deal: you may not want to replicate that long script. But the reality is that long script is what's going to get the sales reps to the next level. So my encouragement to you, if you are an owner, don't look at your own personal sales excellence as the example, because it's not quite fair for the average sales rep to be able to repeat the things that you're innately able to do. And then let's make something repeatable in which that's required for them to be able to get the sale made. And when you do that and you take training seriously in this in the scripting and the milestones of a sales process more thoroughly and define it in such a way that um, is repeatable, then you need to listen to calls and role play. So if you're not doing that, you need to do that. Listen to calls and role play. So we're big fans of Zero. Zero is also Service Titan is a friend of ours. They have a pro product called Sales Pro powered by Zero, and it allows you to have calls in the field if you're at a home service or a commercial contractor recorded in the field, and you're able to use their platform to break down the call and then coach from within that. And then you also need to role play. So those two things are going to help create habits and unconscious competence that's going to propel your sales team into the future. And you need to train, you need a technology, and you need to not look at the owner as the prime example of how to sell. In fact, that's the wrong example of how to sell. And even me, as a sales training company owner at STG, I have a problem selling the way I would train because I'm the founder. There is a founder's dilemma. There's a founder's stigma I'm thinking about a friend right now. His VP of sales was texting some super cool shoes that he's got, and he told me he listens to the podcast. So this is for you, buddy. Um, and I remember the story of how this gentleman, a friend of mine, owner of the company, very good sales guy, so sold like $4 million a year by himself of residential, which is like a ton of volume. That's a lot of sales. Well, he was not very good at training salespeople or managing them. But man, could he sell, right? So he understood the value in not trying to just say, do as I do, say as I say, walk as I walk, sell as I sell. And you realize that structuring a sales process and training sales reps separately from how he would is actually what helped him go to the next level. So as you're thinking about professionalization, as you're thinking about leveling up and growing, know the dichotomy between the owner and the sales rep and what's really actually required between the two. So anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying this. If you have not registered for the conference yet, go to sellonstg.com/transform and you're going to have a good time. And I hope you come out and enjoy our conference. If not, go ahead and go to sellonstg.com and fill out a form and learn about one of our workshops. And we'll talk about it soon. So anyway, I hope you're well. Thanks. Like, share, comment. Appreciate you. Bye.